Have you ever wondered what's happening in Ukraine right now? Let's delve into the current situation. The war in Ukraine has escalated, with Russian forces persistently bombarding cities such as Kiev, Kharkiv, and Mariupol. Despite the relentless attacks, the Ukrainian military continues to offer staunch resistance, with reports of counter-offensives in some regions. The international community isn't standing by idly. The United States and its allies are providing military and financial assistance to Ukraine, standing in solidarity with the embattled nation. However, the war's toll is heavy, and the scars run deep. The United Nations estimates that the conflict has displaced over 10 million people, with more than 5 million forced to flee Ukraine, seeking refuge elsewhere. The war's devastation doesn't stop at human displacement. The Ukrainian economy is reeling under the impact, teetering on the brink of a humanitarian crisis. The provision of essential services has been disrupted, and basic necessities are becoming increasingly scarce. The situation in Ukraine is fluid, fraught with uncertainty. Predicting what happens next is like trying to catch a smoke with bare hands. One thing, however, remains painfully clear. The war is causing immense suffering and destruction, and as of now, there seems to be no end in sight. Let's dive deeper and take a look at the city of Mariupol, which is currently under siege. The city has been in the grip of Russian forces for over 2 months, and the living conditions there are nothing short of dire. Imagine a place where running water, electricity, and even food are luxuries that are hard to come by. Such is the harrowing reality for the residents of Mariupol at this moment, with people resorting to unthinkable alternatives like eating pets and garbage to survive. The Red Cross has described the situation in Mariupol as a humanitarian catastrophe. The United Nations echoes this sentiment, calling it the worst humanitarian crisis in Europe since the Second World War. It's not just about the tangible losses, but the psychological toll it's taking on the people is unimaginable. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has not shied away from expressing his outrage, accusing Russia of committing war crimes in Mariupol. He's called for the evacuation of the city, a plea that highlights the gravity of the situation. But evacuation is not the ultimate solution. The cessation of war is. The situation in Mariupol is a stark reminder of the devastating human cost of the war and the urgency for international intervention. It's not just a city under siege, it's humanity under siege. The world watches on as Mariupol bears the brunt of this conflict, a brutal testament to the horrors of war. And as we continue to follow this story, let's not forget the people behind the headlines. Those trapped in the city, trying to survive another day, hoping for the world to intervene. Now let's catch up on the recent key developments in the war. Diving right in, we've seen a significant commitment from the United States as they've announced their plans to provide an additional $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine. This aid package isn't just a financial crutch, it includes tangible assets like air defense systems and artillery. This move marks a crucial step in bolstering Ukraine's resistance against the Russian advance. Meanwhile, the European Union isn't sitting idle either. They've agreed to ban most Russian oil imports. This decision is expected to further damage the Russian economy, signaling a hardening stance from the bloc against Russia's aggressive actions. The EU's decision underscores the international community's commitment to supporting Ukraine and holding Russia accountable. On the diplomatic front, the United Nations Security Council convened to discuss the humanitarian situation in Ukraine. Here, the world was reminded of the power dynamics at play when Russia exercised its veto power, blocking a resolution that would have condemned its actions in Ukraine. This move is a stark reminder of the complexities of international politics, even in the face of a humanitarian crisis. With each passing day, the war in Ukraine continues to evolve, impacting millions of lives and the geopolitical landscape.